So guys, this week I've been playing a ton of Hell Let Loose, and to be honest, it's kind of becoming a bit of an addiction. And considering this weekend is a free weekend for the game, well, a lot of you are probably wondering, is it worth playing? So guys, this is BillyEatWorld again, and here's 5 reasons why I think you should. Now, first up, probably the first thing you're going to notice about this game is that unlike a lot of games, this one takes itself very seriously when it comes to authenticity. I mean, there's a weight of responsibility behind a World War II setting to make sure it's respectful and accurate to the historical events, and I think Hell Let Loose does a pretty good job on this one. I mean, of course, it's a video game, so it's never going to be perfectly accurate, but the weapons, the uniforms, the vehicles, they're all faction locked, and they all look and sound pretty on point. But it's the maps that I think are probably the most impressive feature. They don't feel like maps in a video game. They're inspired by, and they're aimed to feel like the real historical battlefields. Now, speaking of realism, well, another one of the most important things I think in any video game is being immersed in the experience, and one of the things that kills that for me in shooter games is a HUD. And as you can see on screen now, well, Hell Let Loose basically doesn't have one, and what HUD elements you can see on screen, well, they automatically hide themselves after a period of time anyway. There's also no spotting of any kind, so you can lie in a bush and let a squad run past you, and there's also no hit markers, so you have to listen for the thunk of the bullets to know if you've hit your target. And you might be thinking that's super annoying, but trust me, when you learn to use your eyes and your ears instead of relying on the game to hold your hands, it's way more rewarding. Now, moving on, another big reason I think I like this game so much is because for me it kind of feels like a spiritual successor to a game like Battlefield 1942. Because sure, almost 20 years ago, games like Medal of Honor, Call of Duty and Battlefields, they were pushing the boundaries of what FPS games could be, but nowadays they've fallen into the trap of rinse and repeat to keep the fans happy. This game is kind of what I feel like Battlefield would have been if it hadn't have chased the mainstream arcadey player base. It's 50 versus 50 instead of 32 versus 32, and the scale of the maps is just massive. And sure, it doesn't look as pretty as a AAA shooter, but where Hell Let Loose can't compete in terms of aesthetics, it more than makes up for in innovation when it comes to the gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, well, one of the most important things in any shooter game is the time to kill, because it determines what type of game it's going to be, and when it's badly balanced, it can really suck. And look, chances are, if you're a shooter fan, you either prefer games with a fast time to kill or a long time to kill, and there's no right or wrong answer because I think both of these can be done well. Hell Let Loose, though, is firmly in the corner of the fast time to kill shooter game. 1 or 2 bullets is enough to kill any enemy, and a single headshot will kill an enemy at any range. And sure, that might sound pretty hardcore, but unlike in a lot of other fast time to kill shooters like Rainbow Six Siege or Insurgency Sandstorm, it's not even that annoying because it's fairly balanced out by a short respawn time which keeps the tempo fairly high. But finally, the last reason I think you guys need to play this game is because unlike so many other FPS games these days, Hell Let Loose is almost entirely based on teamwork. For example, the 2 main game modes, Warfare and Offensive, are both objective-based, and neither of them has got a ticket system, which means that getting a high KD literally does nothing at all because it doesn't count towards whether your team wins or loses. It just makes you feel good. Also, unlike most AAA shooters these days, it's actually got a decent VoIP system to let you communicate with 3 different levels: a command level, a squad level, and a local level, which lets you talk to nearby players that aren't in your squad. And not just that, but so much of the game is based around a fairly deep team-based resources system, which governs everything from the spawn points, to vehicles, to support call-ins, and even building fortifications and static weapons. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps up this quick video. So as always, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And just remember, in this one, we've only just scratched the surface, and it's also just my opinion. So make sure you let me know what you like or what you don't like about Hell Let Loose down below as well, so everyone else can have a read. As always though, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And also don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later and have a good one.